Walter from Transform Your Wealth and Health, and today I'm with Tony Kelly. He's an ex-pro footballer and founder of gambling addiction charity Red Card. Hi Tony.
Hi Andy. Hi.
Hi. A few questions for Tony today. We've got some various things that we're going to do. We're doing a podcast and we've also done some YouTube live, but we're going to do a YouTube video for you guys and interview Tony and find out all about his charitable work and his pro career where he was working in the past. So, Tony, could you tell us about your early life and your early career, please?
Well, I started 16 years old, like any young lad, wanted to be a professional footballer. So when I left school, got the opportunity to go to Bristol City through the help of my brother, who was already a pro at Bristol Rovers. And that's where it all started, really, doing a YTS scheme, 2 years, well, I call it scholars these days, 2 years. Unfortunately, I didn't make the 2 years because I was a little bit wild. I was a little bit naughty, to be honest, for a 16-year-old, so I got ahead of myself. I talk about young kids today about attitude, it's not all about talent. And I, 17 years old, I was released, even a year before I was meant to turn pro.
I think you called it, I spoke to you about it, you said it was on a plate for you and you cocked it up, basically.
Yeah, it was all there for me. I had the chance to turn in pro, obviously. But one thing I did leave with, which is I'm proud of, I was the youngest player ever to play in Bristol City's first team, 16 244 days. So as you can imagine, you think you're going on to bigger things, you think I'm guaranteed to get a pro contract, but it didn't work out that way because I was too busy partying, mate. So yeah, released from Bristol City then. But again, when I talk to people today, and parents, kids and all that, about getting released as a scholar from a pro club, it's not the end. You know, to some people I think that they go on the streets or they go into crime, etc. But it's not the end, because I spend the next 4 years still continuing playing football at semi-pro level. And obviously there's a lot of scouts out there that watch semi-pro football. You
were lucky and got a second chance or more, didn't you?
And it was Alan Borley who plucked me. God bless him, Alan Borley, ex-66 World Cup hero. He plucked me from St Albans City Football Club, and that was my chance, and going into the second division of professional football, 22.
So I see that your gambling addiction that blighted your career was something that is mental health related. So do you think there's similarities between the sports area that you worked in and the mental health area that you're working in now?
Definitely, and it's I've suffered with various issues throughout my gambling addiction as a footballer and in life. You know, from panic attacks to anxiety to depression, to all these things I've suffered with. And you know, the work I'm doing now, which I'm sure we'll touch on a bit with the organisation, you know, we're meeting with Mind, the mental health charity, in a couple of weeks' time, and that just goes to show the link between mental health and addictions, especially gambling addiction.
I mean, I speak to a lot of guys that are in the fitness industry, and I think the most important fitness is your mental health. That's just the way I look at it, because everything derives from your mind originally.
From your mindset.
If you want to get fit, if you want to lose weight, whatever you might want to do, it starts off in here.
Exactly, and that's when I was going through the depths of the addiction. You know, for instance, whether it was Bury or Stoke or Orient, whatever it was, there was numerous times where I get up in the morning and you know, I'm going to play in front of 10-20,000 people today, but my mind's not there, my mind's not in, my focus is not there, you know, my head is a mess.
I actually have got a little excerpt from your book, which we have read earlier, but I'll read again. And it just give a real indication of what Tony was going through at the time. This book, by the way, Red Card, I said to Tony when he originally gave me the book, he said, here's my book, and it's a warts and all story, and he wasn't wrong there too. But I said to him, I'm a terrible book reader. I'm either going to read 6 pages of it and put it down, and I might read it within the next year or two, or I'm not going to put it down, I'm going to read it within a week. And it's exactly what I did. I didn't put it down, I read it within a week. It was absolutely brilliant, so
cheers, Andy.
Thank you. Here's a little excerpt which gives you an idea. That's what gambling does to you. It takes you on a roller coaster ride through all the emotions, from exaltation to total despair. Naturally, this affected my game. When I had won, I would be on a high and play well. But when I would have lost, it would usually lead to a stinker on the pitch.
Yeah, and I know we touched on it earlier, but that sums it up. It sums up my roller coaster life as a footballer. So, you know, losing form, continuous loss of form. I think I played about approximately 200 league appearances when it should have been about 400 or 500, and that's all due to my addiction, obviously, the state of mind.
So wealth-wise, it cost you a fortune.
Yeah, it cost me approximately £500,000, houses and cars, etc. So when I finished football at 31, which is again, I've lost 4 or 5 years to the game. I left with £192,000 backwards so far, which, horrendous.
So this is the difference between getting it right and getting it wrong. So in theory, you could have had £500,000 in the bank, but you ended up with nearly 200,000 debt.
Debt, exactly.
Ouch.
Yeah. And that's the damage and that's the consequences that gambling addiction can do.
Yeah, okay. If you'd have had a mentor back in those days who could have helped you and guided you away from things, do you think that would have helped?
Yeah, I think possibly, because we talk about it today in terms of awareness for parents, for staff, for work staff, for managers and coaches and agents, all these people that are in a position of authority who can look out for the little telltale signs. So for instance, when I was going through it and I was out of form for 3, 4, 5 weeks, and usually then they've got to look at these things and maybe ask the question.
Yeah, I get you, yeah. So how do you keep fit nowadays then?
I might look fit on camera, but
that can be mentally or physically.
Well, I think, that's a good point actually. I think physically, I don't do enough training, to be honest with you. I'm fortunate that I'm just one of these guys.
We'll go for a run around the block.
Yeah, good luck with that. I don't pile on loads of weight or anything like that. So as you can see on camera, I'm looking okay. But I think mentally, that's the most important thing. Since I started Red Card 3 years ago, and since I set up the organisation Red Card Gambling Sport Project, which is what we do, which is basically education, awareness and prevention of gambling addiction. So I think my mind's in a good place, because I'm fortunate that I'm in a position that I can actually try and help people, because I might not have been in that position in terms of going into jail or suicide, etc. So I'm in a good position, in a good place at the moment, and just going to grow with Red Card.
Is that your main priority in life now, Red Card?
Yeah.
Or have you got other?
I think that's my focus now. I think I want to bring Red Card to the fore. I want to probably do what I definitely do on a full-time basis. At the moment it's sort of part-time. We've got government funding, so it's going really well. So that's my main focus at the moment.
If there's anybody that's out there at the minute that you'd like to impart some of your experience to, so they don't go off the rails maybe, or don't make the same mistakes that you made, what would you like to say to those guys?
I think the most important thing really is to talk to somebody, because they call it the hidden addiction, because people don't talk, it's a secret, you don't see it, and obviously you've got to somehow find that courage and strength to come out of denial, and that's really hard. But if you don't talk to somebody, you're gonna dig yourself a deeper hole.
How might you advise somebody that wants to start a health or a wealth change within their life? Anything spring to mind that you
A health and wealth change, I think.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think fitness is a good thing for everybody.
You must have been as fit as a fiddle back in the day.
I was super fit, and I think in general life for anybody, it's good for the mind and it's good for the body. So I think anybody that doesn't do any fitness, me and self included, I think it's important that you do some kind of fitness. Whether it's jogging, whether it's running, whatever it is.
Yeah. Do you think the things like the endorphins and stuff like that are produced by the mind, do you think that helps as well to keep people active and not doing things that they shouldn't? Maybe even if it took your focus away from the gambling, might have helped yourself, mightn't it? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, our addiction specialist team talk about the biological side of how the brain works, etc. And the dopamine, the reward centres, and the anticipation, all that stuff. And it's really interesting, but it's really important. And I think the more work we do with awareness of those kind of things, it can only help.
Yeah. Who do you work with that helps you now?
In terms of the team, we've got a team of 3 addiction specialists. They all got their own practices. They came on board about 2 years ago. They are 2 of them are now directors of the company as well. So I'm fortunate that I've been able to create this team and that people love the project. I'm very lucky in that sense. So got a good team.
Funding? You're looking for funding all the time? Or?
Yeah, all the funding. Whether it's plugging the book, buying the book, whether it's obviously for some of our services when we go to workshops, whether it's a college or whether it's a youth project, whatever the case may be, we have to charge for our services. But fortunately, that's gonna. We don't have to charge so much now because we've just got some government funding from the big lottery, and that's going to really help us. That's what we were waiting for. So, and we'll just kick on now and hopefully get some more funding in the next 2 or 3 years.
That's good. Is there any tips or tricks that you might impart to people that believe that they've got a problem with an addiction? It needn't necessarily be a gambling addiction, but some people have got an addictive nature and susceptible to these kind of things.
Yeah, it's funny that because I think I had an addictive nature because when I used to play to school and younger, playing cards and playing marbles and you know really feeling the pressure in terms of being competitive and that competitive nature. So that sort of grew with me. But in terms of really in terms of what the gambling side. Obviously there's different addictions, whether it's alcohol, whether it's sex, whatever. There's all kinds of addictions out there, and that's what our team talk about. There's so many kinds of addiction, but it's hard for us, the individual, to understand, what makes someone an addict. So realistically, I would advise probably go to awareness workshops in terms of addictions. There's loads of them around. Addiction awareness workshops, and just get an idea of why someone gets addicted and why someone doesn't.
What about somebody who's not too sure, but they're doing something that's impacting on their life? So let's say gambling, for example. You don't think you're addicted, but nevertheless you haven't got any money in your pocket.
We always say if it's making a detrimental effect to your life, and it's affecting your health and it's affecting your well-being, then it's a problem. You might not be a fully addict, but it's a problem. It's affecting your life, the way you go about your life. If you've got no finances, everything in them terms, then it's a problem. And you've got to deal with that problem.
And it's obviously affected your health and wealth.
Yeah, exactly. Both health and wealth. And exactly, they go hand in hand. Yeah, health and wealth.
Not much good without each other, are they? Really?
Exactly. Yeah.
I asked on Facebook for some of the listeners stroke supporters, some of these were supporters of yours, if they had any questions to ask. And there was lots of different various questions, but I'll paraphrase. I
can imagine a few of them.
A few of them are really funny, but not something we're going to talk about now. But one of the ones that was asked was from a Stoke supporter, a guy called Daniel Sutton. And he was asking about the support you received. So I'll change his question, if you don't mind, Daniel, slightly. So the question I'm going to ask you is, who gave you the best support, and did you get a lot of support with your gambling addiction from the clubs that you played for?
Right. Well, it's interesting that, because 25 years ago, when I turned pro in 1990, there wasn't a lot of awareness about gambling addiction. As an example, we would go away on away trips, 3 or 4 hour journeys away trips, or whether we stay in a hotel overnight, and we would have card schools, 7 or 8 of us at the back of the coach, serious money going on.
Do they still do that now?
No, that wouldn't happen now. But that's how it was, and that's what I mean about, it was taken to sort of be the norm. That's how it was looked at. I remember even the managers I played with, they were joining the card school.
And what about managers? What about players that had lost badly on the pitch, on the coach? Do you think they actually played worse on the pitch?
Yeah, I think. I was one of them. Because you imagine losing a couple of grand them times was a hell of a lot of money. And then you've got to get up in the morning from the hotel room and you've got to go and play a match. Obviously it's going to affect your mindset. Some people are mentally stronger than others, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy, and it's just unfortunate how it was then, how people looked at gambling, especially in the sports world. But obviously since then, people have come out in professional football about gambling, and the PFA are doing a lot more. So it is getting better.
Okay, so how can people get help from your charity if they think they need help?
We have a team of addiction specialists, so if it's a matter of confidential talk or consulting, or just to talk about your problem, you can contact us through the website, which is www.kellys.redcard.consultancy.co.uk. You can contact me on Tony Kelly LinkedIn, and also there's details about the book on Amazon and on Redcard. I battle with gambling addiction, so and it's important, I think, anyone listening, that if they have got a problem, it might be a parent out there who's worried about their son or daughter or whatever, you've just got to get help and talk to somebody ASAP, because it will only get worse.
We can also find you on YouTube in the sports section as well, can't we?
Oh yeah, you can actually, YouTube, There's a few, I think there's 2 or 3 videos of me on YouTube.
I can think of one in particular, the Bruce Grobbler one. That's got to be the most famous one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I can live on that for the rest of my life. No, but I think a lot of people talk about that. It's a great moment. I actually went back to Stoke 2 years ago. I was invited back, and just to share a little bit of my story, and obviously talk about that goal. And they really looked after me. It was a really nice day. Yeah, they'd done a piece in the programme. Yeah, but that was a great day. It was to score Anfield.
I can imagine. I think there was, depending on what numbers you listened to, but there was anything from sort of 6,000 to 10,000 Stoke fans there that day. And they still talk about it. I've been chatting to these guys on Facebook about it. They're still talking about it now.
Yeah, and I've got comments. I get comments all the time about they're so glad they were there that night. And these are people that were like 16, 17 at the time, and are now like 30.
We'll try and put some sort of link on the.
Because I think you can get a link to the goal. I think we should do that, because Stoke fans, to thousands of them, that really made their day. And there was 7,000 behind that goal. Yeah. And obviously it was on ITV, etc. It was amazing.
So which one, you can't get around it, which one of the teams give you the best support?
Which one of the teams give me the best support? Support in terms of the gambling, everything, or
both? It's a two-part question originally. So which one of the supporters did you sort of bond with the most? And then secondly, the clubs?
Yeah, I'd have to say Stoke was probably obviously the biggest club I played for. In terms of the supporters, they are amazing. They are fanatical. I'm not going to lie. I've had some stick. I've had some stick. Of course I have. At the end of the day, if you think about 3.5 years there, and some of those things I've had, and obviously we all know now why. But but when it was good, they were good, and they supported me brilliantly. And like I said, they still do today. So that's great. And Bury Football Club, I think I had a.
Sometimes get a little thing with certain club, you tell me, and you can't put your finger on it. But they sort of click with you.
And Bury. I don't know, about 2 years at Bury. I had a nice connection with Bury. And like you say, you can't sort of put your finger on it. It was just a real close-knit club. A small club, but close-knit, good unity. Yeah, and I enjoyed it there.
You mentioned in your book about your time in Sweden. You had a year in Sweden.
Got married 5 times over while I was there. I wish. But it's an amazing place. I mean, I was at St Albans City Football Club, semi-pro at the time, waiting to get an offer, and it was instead of an English club, it was a Swedish club that came in, and I went to Sweden for a year, the second division, and it was absolutely amazing. Really enjoyed it. Great culture over there. We had a really good time, but unfortunately it was a year's contract, even though I was top scorer for the team, and the manager wanted to stay long term, which I wanted to do. But unfortunately, it was a year's contract. St Albans wanted me back because obviously St Albans wanted to sell me to an English club and get financing, which is understandable, which is exactly what they did when they came back.
Ruined your little holiday then.
Yeah. But I came back, and within a few months I was off to Stoke, so it all worked out. Right. Yeah, it all worked out well. St Albans got their fee, and I got my move.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay, well we're going to get ready for the rest of the day, so we're actually going to go off and do some podcasting now as well. Thank you very much for the interview, Tony. It's been a pleasure. And
thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.